Planning of health education program. Why is planning for any health education program important? Let's say you and your friends who are doctors or some health professionals decide to go to Nuakot to organize awareness campaign. Let's say you decide to organize awareness campaign on AIDS. However, the thing is, in Nuakot, the cases of AIDS is almost equals to zero. However, the cases of high blood pressure is significantly higher. So, you and your friends conducting awareness program on AIDS was not as significant as it would have been if you and your friends had conducted awareness program on high blood pressure. Now, why were you not able to conduct awareness program on the felt need of the society or the felt need of the community? You were not able to do it because you didn't plan for the program. So this is why planning for health education program is extremely necessary, so that you know what exactly do you need to educate people of that reason about. Okay. So now we know why planning is necessary. Let's look at the steps to be taken while planning for any health education program. The first step is, obviously we need to find out the problem of the community, so that accordingly we can educate people related to that problem. In order to find out the problem, we need to collect information from the people, because it is from the information that you will be able to analyze the problem of the area. So first you collect baseline data and information. Let's say the total number of households in Nuakot is 10,000, which is obviously a large number of households to be surveyed. So out of 10,000, you choose 1,000 household, and out of these 1,000 household, you start extracting information. Now this information and data can be either vital statistics, which includes information related to birth, death, maternal mortality rate, or it could be about status of health knowledge, like how much are the people of Nuakot aware of the various diseases, what's their attitude towards specific diseases, about towards people suffering from specific diseases like mental health illness, AIDS, and what's their behavior towards those illness as well. Collect data like literacy ratio, education level, about available health services. Are there any free drugs available, free checkup plans that's available, any programs that are conducted in the area? Now, these various information can be collected from those 1,000 households, either through either through an interview, where you basically ask any one of the member of the household about their info, ask questions based on health to extract information, or you could conduct discussion program like focus group discussion, or simply go to health institutes and study the health services out there. You do all these steps, you perform all these steps for one and solely one reason, that is to find the problem that is to be solved. Because you don't know what exactly is the problem in Nuakot. For you to know what's the problem in Nuakot, you need to extract data from the people. And these data that you have extracted will finally lead you to the problem. And from that problem, you will be able to decide what's to be done. So that was the first step. The first step was to collect baseline data and information. After you have collected data and information, you will be able to identify the health problems in the community. Let's say after your survey, you find out that in Nuakot, a lot of people think AIDS communicate by air. So that's one problem, ignorance of people. Another is there's a huge case of gastritis due to impure drinking water or lack of filtration and distillation and appropriate boiling of water. And there is also high prevalence of hypertension leading to large number of deaths in the community. So out of these various health problems, you need to prioritize one of them, and that's making a priority. So, upon analyzing each of the problem, you and your friends decide to choose high blood pressure. The reason being, high blood pressure has been the reason behind large mortality in the community or a lot of deaths in the community. It is felt as one of the major needs to be solved in the community. Plus, it is also not being addressed by the health agencies nearby. And it is also feasible to educate people upon. And that's why high blood pressure is chosen out of the major health problems in the community. A priority is made. After a priority is made, obviously we need to establish, or you and your friends need to establish goals and objectives. Goals are not specific. So goals would include something like what is to be attained. So you want to reduce the cases of hypertension. What is the geography to be targeted or the population to be targeted? The population of the Nuwakot is to be targeted. And what's the time period you believe or you hope for decrease in cases of hypertension? Maybe you hope that within 1 year there will be significant decrease in cases of hypertension. So that's your goals, which is not quite specific. However, objective on the other hand is quite specific. So the objective of your health education program could be to inform about the cases, signs and symptoms, prevention and treatment of high blood pressure by organizing awareness campaigns and booths. So this is quite specific as compared to goals. In goals, you had vague topics or vague questions to be answered. In objective, you have specific thing to do. You want to aware people how through campaigns and booths about what? About high blood pressure, about what of high blood pressure, about causes, signs and symptoms, prevention and treatment of high blood pressure. So objective is something that needs to be smart, where S means specific, as I said earlier. M means measurable, that is, you should be able to measure the change that is brought by the education imparted through the program. A means achievable, means you should be able to achieve whatever objective you have set. R means realistic. It can be realistic when it is achievable. And T means time bound. For it to be achievable and realistic, it should be time bound. Means you should be able to complete this objective within the time period provided to you. Once you have established goals and objectives, you obviously need to decide on a program. So you have decided to provide awareness, right? Then this awareness can be provided in various ways. You need to decide on how to provide this awareness. This is obviously dependent on three major things. Number one, money. Number two, manpower. Number three, time. Whether or not you have enough money to conduct a certain type of program, whether or not you have enough number of people to conduct a certain type of program, whether or not you have enough time to conduct a certain type of program. So after you have decided on your program, you need to decide on a target group. For example, let's say you are going to, it's not about high blood pressure, forget about it. Let's say you are going to teach people on how to properly wash their hands. You are obviously not going to target people of age 40 because they are not going to give any interest and listen to you. You are going to target the students of preschool maybe, because they are the one who will listen to you, and maybe their attitude will also change after you teach them how to properly wash their hands. So target group should be such that it is receptive to new ideas. That means they are ready to get or inculcate the new ideas. They are ready to change their attitude, and they are also in need. They are actually in need of health education. Okay, the target group is also selected. Now you need to also select appropriate method and media. That is, how exactly are you going to deliver the message? Are you going to use an audio or video or simply some charts or pamphlets? Whatever, you need to decide on that. Once you have decided on all these things, you need to make a detailed plan of action. A plan of action is going to involve everything that you decided on earlier. That is, it is going to include the priority that you made, it is going to include the objective that you have taken to fulfill, it is going to include the program that you are going to conduct, it is going to include the target group you have set to target, it is going to include the appropriate method and media that you have selected. So detailed plan of action. Date: the program is to be conducted on this date. objective. The program is hope the you hope to fulfill this objective through the program, complete this objective through the program. Target group, you are targeting this particular group of people. Responsible person, the person accompanying you is this. Method and media, you have decided on this method. And location, you have decided on this particular location. So the plan of action is made. Now what? You need to bring it into action. You need to implement whatever you had decided upon. And implementation is a process on its own. So there are these various processes within implementation. First is building commitment. The person in charge, for example, the responsible person in this case is a doctor, or anyone could be in charge. The responsible person in charge should actually feel their responsibility. If they don't feel their responsibility, or they are not actually willing to work for the program is not going to be a smooth sailing for anyone. Second, training human resources. Everyone who is going to take part in providing health education should be trained beforehand. For example, you and your friends went to Nuakot, right? So before going to Nuakot, you and your friends should have been trained on how to talk with people, how to collect people, how to address people of that community. Mobilizing and utilizing resources. Let's say there's no fancy equipments to be used in your area. There's no recorder, there's no projector. Guess what? You can simply use whatever you have. Maybe you don't have a conference hall. Simply use the garden of the hospital. Maybe you don't have any projectors. Simply use chart papers or board. Then organizing community. The people of the community should be encouraged to bring positive change through the education. Otherwise, it will be of no sense. What's the point of providing education if people are not going to bring it into practice and bring change in their attitude through it? Then there's monitoring the program. Throughout the process, every steps of the process is to be monitored, and everything should be written down or recorded, and maybe submit it to a higher authority. This higher authority can be your college head, it can be maybe the ward chairperson. Okay, so now that you have implemented and brought the program into action, you have to do something really important, and that is evaluate. Because evaluation is what's needed for you to actually know how the program went and whether or not it went the way it should have been. So evaluation can be done at three different points: before the program, during the program, and after the program. Before the program, you and your friends need to evaluate the process that took place on organizing the program. So it's called process evaluation, or since you are diagnosing the program, it's diagnostic evaluation. During the program, you evaluate the progress of the program. How is the program going on right now? Or how's the impact of the program at the moment? So progress evaluation or impact evaluation, which is also called formative evaluation. And after the program, so were you able to achieve what you wanted to achieve or not? What exactly was the outcome of the program, which is called achievement evaluation or outcome evaluation or summative evaluation. So that's the steps to be taken while planning for any health education program. Let me revise the whole steps for you. So the first step would be collect data and information so that you know what's the problem in the community. Find out the various problems by collecting data and information. Select or make priority out of these problems. Select one of them. Then list out the goals and objectives to be fulfilled. Then decide on the program to be performed. Decide on the target group to be targeted, or the target group on whom you are going to impart knowledge upon through education program. Decide on the method and media. Finally, write everything down in the form of plan of action, and then implement those ideas through health education program. And once you have implemented them, you obviously need to evaluate whatever happened before, during, and after the program.